Welcome, Husker Nation, to a random summertime, almost summertime video, late springtime, sometime video with Adam Carricker here. This has been on my mind for a while, okay? So that's the reason for this video. I've been thinking about Jeff Sims, who's going to be our starting quarterback. This is a talented guy, 6'4", 220 pounds, all right? But is a guy who runs really, really well, but hasn't been consistent when it comes to being a passer. Now you talk about our head coach, Matt Rhule. One of his big strengths that he's been able to do over the years is develop players. So it's a quarterback that he brought in. NFL scouts are like, you got to bring this guy in. Okay, Matt Rhule has talked about how he can make every throw. He's been to all the pro days, okay, of all the quarterbacks of recent years, and Jeff Sims can make every single throw that any quarterback of those pro days have made. Okay, but we got to be able to do more than just run the ball with our quarterback. And I'm going to get into some of his throwing stats recently. I'm not trying to bash anybody. The facts are what they are. I don't care about your feelings, yada, yada, yada. You know me. Okay, but here's the deal. This is kind of my straight raw video, raw thoughts, okay, on why I believe what Jeff Sims turns into, what he develops into, what Matt Rhule and Satterfield, our offensive coordinator, are able to develop him into is going to be an indicator of what Matt Rhule is going to be able to do here at the University of Nebraska, and is going to tell us a lot about Matt Rhule. Now, do me a favor before I get too much more into this video. Smash that like button if you agree with me that Jeff Sims has a lot of potential to be a good quarterback here at the University of Nebraska. And again, potential is the ability to do great things. You ain't done them just yet, but that potential is there. If you agree with me, Matt Rhule's a developer of players. If you agree with me that the potential is there for him to be a very good quarterback here at the University of Nebraska, smash that like button, okay? If you watch Jeff during spring ball, the spring game, some of the practices, he just looks different, okay? He's a big guy. He's athletic. He moves really, really well, okay? And he's got a very good arm. All right, there's only a few guys on this roster that stand out to me like he does, just from a physical, how they look, impressive standpoint, how they move standpoint. You got Eric Gilbert, not talking about production, just how people look, and Gabe Ervin as well. All right. Now, again, here's the exact quote from Matt Rhule. He has said, and I quote, "I've been to all the pro days. Jeff can throw it as well as anybody," end quote. Okay, now Jeff Sims, we know, can run the ball. He's a legit dual threat quarterback. He could be a great fit for Matt Rhule's smash mouth offense, but you got to be able to throw the ball. You got to be able to pass the ball. You got to be able to threaten the defense with a run-pass option. Doesn't have to necessarily be RPO, but it could be. Okay. Now, part of this is being able to read defenses mentally, and it's being able to be accurate. We know Jeff has a great arm. Okay. Again, 6'4", 220 pounds, has a lot of playing starting experience from his time at the University of Georgia Tech. He's got multiple years of eligibility left to play here at the University of Nebraska as well. Now, this may take a season or two to see how he develops over time under Rhule, under Satterfield. Okay, now when you look at some of his passing stats over the past few years, they're not going to wow you. Okay, they're just not. His completions have gone down steadily over the last 3 years. 141 completions in 2020, 113 in 2021, and 110 a year ago. Now, the attempts also dropped as well over the years, to be fair. Okay, to be fair. All right, now, I don't think he was really being developed much as a passing quarterback at the University of Georgia Tech. No disrespect to those coaches, just my honest observation. Okay, last year, he only had 5 touchdown passes, had 3 interceptions. Okay, and he threw for 1,115 yards, which ranked him 124th nationally, and that's where Matt Rhule comes in. That's where offensive coordinator Marcus Satterfield comes in. Now, here's a Matt Rhule quote, and I quote, "We found players we could develop, players that love football, players that want to get developed. We practice really competitively. We train at a high level. We push the guys. We love them. Nowadays, a lot of coaches are afraid to coach their guys hard because they're afraid they'll transfer." Okay, end quote. Now, here's the deal. Rhule wants to get to the point where his players trust him to where he can push them to that level. Okay, before the transfer portal became what it was and guys could just come and go. He wants them to trust them so they buy in and so he can develop them. That's the point he wants to get to. And Rhule, last I looked anyways, has 24 players currently from Baylor and Temple that he coached in the NFL. And keep in mind, he hasn't even been in college ball for, 3 or 4 years. So, all right. Now, when you talk about some of the things that Rhule has said about Sims, he speaks highly of his intelligence and what he could potentially do from the pocket Use his legs. Get him outside. Let him throw. Let him run. Let him do all those things. But what can he do from the pocket? He likes what he can potentially do from the pocket. Rhule, as I mentioned, had pro scouts tell him he needed to go get Sims. Sims has immense talent. And I haven't even talked about his running ability like from a stats point so far, because that's not the point of this video. We know he can do that. Again, he wasn't being developed great as a passer at Georgia Tech. Jeff Sims' development as a passer over the next couple of years, in my opinion, could be an indicator of how well Matt Rhule will do here at the University of Nebraska. Not even just from the obvious of your quarterback has to play well, okay? But it's going to show us how good of a developer Matt Rhule really is when it comes to the quarterback position specifically, which obviously is the second most important position on a football team behind defensive end. That will never change. All right. Leave me in the comments below, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. Let me know your thoughts. Do you agree with me? Yes or no? Okay. How well Jeff Sims develops as a passing quarterback, the passing part of his game as a quarterback, is an indicator of how well Matt Rhule is going to do at Nebraska, and is going to tell us a lot about Matt Rhule. Okay. The more I learn about Coach Rhule, the more I like him. And I love Kool-Aid as much as anybody. Red flavor is my favorite. Let me know your favorite flavor of Kool-Aid in the comments below as well. But I'm not just going to sip here and sip it for no reason. All right? I try to be as objective as I can be. Let me know. Do you agree with me? Just simply say yes or no in the comments below. Also, do you think we'll be able to develop a true backup quarterback? Something we have not had for quite a while here at the University of Nebraska. And if Jeff Sims gets banged up when he's running around, Heinrich Harburg, Chubba Purdy, will they be able to come in? Can we develop a true backup quarterback, someone we trust to come in and at least just manage the game, so to speak? Also, here's a question that dawned on me. By the time Jeff Sims is done, do you think he will be drafted? First round, seventh round? Do you think he'll be drafted by the time he's done here at the University of Nebraska? Now, a couple of quick things. If you follow me on social media, I've been doing the countdown, 90 days, 80 days to the return of the Character Chronicles on August 1st. I will continue to do so. All right. And here's some of the things that we're working on, just so you know. We're working on a website. It's going to be pretty freaking cool. At least I hope so. Merchandise. That's right. Merchandise, ladies and gentlemen. We have one sponsorship available. If you're interested, hit me up or let me know. And it still surprises me that I've hired 3 employees. This thing started with me just ranting after Bo Pelini got fired, and I had a minority opinion, and I just decided to put it out there, and I didn't know what would happen. Didn't really care, honestly. Much to my shock, people were interested. And now here we are 9 years later, and it's kind of doing its own thing, kind of, I don't know, we got employees. That's pretty cool. None more important than my wife, though. All right, until next time, Husker Nation, go big, red nose. Remember, throw the bug.